Hello class 8 students, today in this video I am going to continue the same chapter in biology, that is your reproduction in plants. Now children, in previous video we had discussed about the different means of asexual reproduction, right? And today we will discuss the artificial methods of vegetative propagation and sexual reproduction in plants, right? Let's start the chapter.
The man-made methods called artificial propagation can be used to grow many plants from one plant at a much faster rate. Farmers and gardeners and forests, they use vegetative propagation to produce many plants that are exactly the same as the original parent plant. The major artificial methods are cutting, layering, cutting, grafting and tissue culture. Let's discuss first layering. Layering is the development of roots on a stem while it is still attached to parent plant. In this method, a lower branch of a plant is bent down close to the ground and covered with a moist soil in such a way that its growing tips remains above the soil surface. After a few days, the covered portion of the stem usually produce adventitious roots from that part. The rooted branch is then cut and grown as an independent plant, and this branch is known as layer. Now this method is used to propagate plants such as jasmine, strawberry, grapevine, etc. And it occurs naturally in black raspberries. I think you have seen raspberries in your playgrounds. Next method of artificial vegetative propagation is cutting. In this method, a piece of suitable length of a stem is taken from the mother plant. And for cutting, we have to select a healthy young branch with a few nodes and internodes. And then cut off the branch and remove most of its leaves. Now the cut end is stuck into some good moist soil. Then roots emerge from the basal portion and the bud gives rise to shoot. And when you will observe or look at the cutting after a few days, we can see that it develops roots and grows into a new plant. This method is used to propagate plants like rose, sugarcane, pineapple, etc. Now, third method of artificial vegetative propagation is grafting. Grafting is carried out a lot by gardeners and growers of trees and shrubs. The art of joining parts of two plants in such a way that they grow as one plant is called grafting. For doing grafting, select a plant and then detach a twig or a bud from it. And this twig is called scion. So what is scion? It is a detached stem part or a twig part of one plant. This scion is then kept over the cut stem of another plant. And the rooted plant is called stalk, which has an extensive root system under the soil. The two cut surfaces are bound together and then they are covered with wax to prevent evaporation and also to stop infection. The tissues of the stalk and scion join together to form one plant. Actually, the stalk is chosen for its good roots and resistant to disease, while the scion is chosen for its good flowers or fruits. Due to the cell division in cambium of scion and stalk, the two stems join together and grows as one plant, with the stalk supplying all the essential nutrients to the scion. This method helps to combine desirable features of two plants. For example, a high-yielding variety of a fruit is grafted to another of the same species known for its toughness. Then we get a tough, high-yielding variety. For example, mango, rubber, apple, pear, citrus fruits and guava are propagated through this method of vegetative propagation. Now, next method of artificial vegetative propagation is tissue culture. Production of plants by cells or tissues or organs in synthetic medium is called tissue culture, or it is also known as micropropagation. It is a modern method of vegetative propagation. Let us understand the steps in this process. For tissue culture, first cut a piece of tissue from a desired plant and then keep it in a nutrient medium under controlled conditions. This tissue in this nutrient medium grows into a mass of cells that is called callus. Later on, callus formed is transferred in a different nutrient medium which makes them develop into a new plantlets. These plantlets are now grown in pots of soil. Tissue culture is used in the propagation of orchids and chrysanthemum, etc. Now next is your sexual reproduction in plants. All of you know that in nature, sexual reproduction occurs in plants as well as in animals. And it is the most common method of reproduction. And in previous video I had already discussed you about the sexual reproduction, that in sexual reproduction two parents are involved. One is male parent, another is female parent, right? And they produce two types of reproductive cells, and what they are called gametes. And these gametes are produced from reproductive organs of the two parent. Male parent produces a male gamete and the female parent produces a female gamete. And the fusion of these two gametes, that is a male gamete and female gamete, is known as fertilization. And after fertilization or after the fusion of these two gametes, the product which is formed, it is known as zygote. So what is zygote? Zygote is the product formed after the fusion of male and female gamete. Or you can say the first structure which is formed after fertilization, that is called what? Zygote. In plants, flower helps in sexual reproduction and later forms fruits and seeds. So let's discuss the structure of flower. A flower has a stalk, and that stalk is called what? Pedicel. The swollen part of that stalk or pedicel is called thalamus, right? And then on the thalamus, the four whorls of flower they born, right? The first whorl of the flower, so the flower has four whorls. First is your sepal, second petal, third what? Stamen, and fourth are called what? Fourth whorl is your carpel. So what are the four whorls of flower? First is your sepals, then petals. The sepals are green in color and they are protective in function. Petals are what? These are colored parts of the flower, and they help in what? Attraction of, they help in pollination actually. Next is your petals. Petals are what? These are colored part of the flower and they attract the insects for pollination. And sepals and petals both are called non-essential part of the flower. Third is whorl of the flower, and they are stamens. Stamens, what? Just look at here, the third whorl of the flower are stamens, and fourth whorl they are called what? Carpels. What they are called? Carpel, and this is the center part of the flower is called what? Carpel. And stamens and carpels both are what? Essential part of flower. Why? Because these two parts only, they are involved in the process of reproduction. because stamens they produce male gamete and carpels they produce what? Female gamete. Right? Now then stamen has again two parts. Just look at here the structure of a stamen. The stamens are next to corolla but petals, because petals are also known as corolla, right? And sepals are also called calyx. So stamens are next to corolla and forming the third male parts of the flower. A stamen consists of an anther and a filament. What it consists of? Anther and filament. And anther is a swollen structure present on the tip of the filament, and it produces what powdery substance, what they are called pollen grains. And pollen grains actually they contain male gamete. Now then while the central part of the flower is the female part, and what it is called? It is called what? Carpel. A carpel consists of basal swollen portion, and that portion is known as ovary. The ovary contain into the long style and ends in a knob-like part that is called what? Stigma. The ovary contain many ovules, and the female gamete is present inside the ovule. There are two types of flowers there. One is called bisexual or hermaphrodite flowers, and second are called unisexual flowers. So what are bisexual flowers? Actually the flowers in which male and female parts are present. Then in the same flower, then they are called bisexual or hermaphrodite flowers. For example, pea, mustard, sunflower, China rose. Means the flower in which stamens are also present and carpel is also present, right? And there are other in some plants are the only male and the female parts are born in different flowers. Such flowers are called unisexual flowers. Means if the flower contain only male part or it contain only female part, then it is called what? Unisexual flowers. For example, date palm, papaya, mulberry, etc. Now next is here the summary of these bisexual flowers. Now what are the functions of these ones? Sepals, they protect the essential parts during bud stage and to help in manufacturing of food because they are green in color. Petal to attract insects for pollination, while stamen they produce what? Pollen grains within which the male gamete is present. And carpel, they have three main parts: stigma, style and ovary. Stigma receives pollen grains while style connects stigma to ovary, and ovary contains ovules which produce female gamete. Right?